Okay, so what I want to do today is draw a face of a young woman with nice beautiful hair, and I haven't planned anything. I don't know what I'm going to do. I might just paint, or I might collage, use inks. I'm just gonna go with my instincts. The first thing that I'm going to do is, I know that I want a face, and I know that I wanted to have nice African afro hair, so I must leave some space for the hair. So I'll probably draw the face here, somewhere between here, and I'm going to do measuring and scaling today, but once I've finished the picture I will scan it and put it in a PDF for you, so that if you don't feel like drawing it, you can just trace it, or you can just print it out and gel it down and paint over it. So I've just zoomed in so that you can see the lines better, because when I started sketching with my graphite pencil, the lines were so light that you could not see it, and I'm just realizing that there's a shadow over my piece of paper. It is getting darker here in South Africa, and that is what is causing the shadow. I'll see, maybe I'll redo it in the morning. I'll see how it turns out. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start out and just draw a basic, oh my goodness, oval shape, which looks like an egg to me. Okay, so that is better. Okay, so African people tend to have really strong jaw lines, so I'm not going to shape too much. Just going to make sure that this side and this side is more or less the same. Even though we are doing a whimsical face, I would like to sort of like stick to the general rule of the features. We are not doing an abstract painting. Okay, so there's a nice shape for our face, and I would normally just draw my lines freehand, but especially taking those of you in consideration that is not good with drawing faces in the beginning stages of learning, take a ruler. A ruler was meant to be used for measuring, so take a ruler. Oh, my ruler is go. In South Africa we use centimeters, but I've got a ruler with inches, so I'm going to see how it goes using the inches. Okay, so my oval shape is 4.5 inches, so half of that would be 2.5. No, 2.25. See, I'm not used to working in inches. So you can draw a line, freehand vertical line, or you can use your ruler. It doesn't matter depending on your skill level. So the lights are very light. The lines are very light. So okay, so the length of the face is 6.5 inches, just slightly over 6.5. So the center line would again be 3.25. See how I almost put it in the right place. Okay. I'm gonna make the lines a bit darker. I hope I can erase it. Okay, otherwise we'll just paint over it. Okay, so the bottom half of the face, the general rule of sketching a face is that the nose would be halfway between the horizontal line and the jawline, and then the mouth halfway between the nose and the jawline. So the measurements I've got here is 3.5 inches. So my nose is going to be, I'm not very mathematical. 1.5 is, of course, half of 3.5 inches. So okay, so it's 1.75 inch is half of that then. And see how difficult it is for me to work in inches now. Can you imagine if I explained this to you in centimeters? Okay, so then we've got just like over 1.5 inch between the bottom of the nose and the jawline. So I'm going to, sort of like just put my mouth slightly higher, just a few inches. Okay. Oh, what fun we would have had if I explained this in the metric system. Okay. Okay, so there is the division for our face, and we're going to start by putting in the eyes. Now, generally, if you look at a face, not all faces are the same, but the general rule is that the eye, the center of the eye, would then be in the middle between the vertical center and the outer edge of the face. And the way you can, the way some people also measure their eyes is that if you draw an eye, there's sort of like 3 eyes fitting, sort of like the space between the 2 eyes is the same width as what the eye is. Now, generally, the features in African people is a bit different. The area between the 2 eyes are a little bit broader than the size of the eyes. So what I'm going to do is, if you measure from the vertical center line to the outer edge, it's almost 2.5 inches. Oh my goodness. Why couldn't I just draw this circle to 2.5 inches? Makes it so difficult. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna enlarge this face a bit to make it easier for me to do the scaling in inches. When you're used to something, then it is extremely difficult if you suddenly have to do it differently. I didn't think about it before I started this video, and I feel like I don't want to give up now and redo it. So just bear with me. Let's just make her face a little bit more rounder than the first one. I think I like it better anyway. looks like the jawline is a bit stronger anyway, so it was meant to be. Okay, so now we've got 2.5 inches, so the center would be 1.25 inch, and that would be generally the center for the eyes. But because we are doing an African feature, we're just gonna move it slightly to the outer edge. Okay, so I've got the center line there, and I am going to start drawing sort of like a cat-shaped eye. So now I've got one eye down, and now I want to make sure that that eye is more or less the same than the eye that I just drew. So I can use a ruler if I don't have a proportional divider, but I'm going to use my proportional divider now. And the first thing I'm going to measure is the area between the outer edge of the eye and the face, and make sure that when I draw this eye that I end there. And then I'm going to take the outer edge of the face, and where I started drawing the eye on the line, on the horizontal line, and I'm just going to put a mark down for me to start there. So that's very easy now for me to a very easy method for me now to shape my eye and make sure I've got more or less the same shape. Okay, so we've got all sorts of drawing tools that can help you when you're drawing, and there's no shame in using them to help you create a beautiful face. Okay, so I'm gonna, so you can see that generally when you draw eyes in a Caucasian face, then the general rule is that the area between the two eyes is the same width as the eyes. Now you'll see in this case it's not, because in an African feature the eyes are slightly more apart than in Caucasian faces. Because I'm just gonna finish putting in the eyes. And I'm quite happy with that, so I am going to leave it like that. I'm trying to make it a bit darker so that you can see on the video. I hope when I start editing the video that the lines will be a bit darker so that you can at least see what I'm doing. Of because that is the whole point, is to see what I'm doing. Okay, so let's move on to the nose. Now, generally African people have broader noses, and they're not so the bridge of the nose is not so pronounced. Okay, so what we're going to do is sort of like make a broader nose. Also tend to be sort of like round. Okay. Now, I think it's a bit too big. That would work perfect if I was going to draw a realistic boy, African boy, but I want to draw a nice, beautiful, girly face. So I'm just gonna make it slightly smaller. Okay, that looks better. doesn't look right, use a ruler, use a proportional divider if you have one. Okay, so we're not going to worry too much about the ears. Like I said, the class is not focusing on technical drawing. It's about how I paint my darker skin colors, skin tones, and I'm going to focus on that. So I think this is a pretty good face, African face for us to work on. And we are just going to sort of like just put more or less where we want to put her hair. We'll paint that in later, just more or less get an idea of where we want to put her hair. So I'm going to draw a neck. I'm just going to also just use a center line to make sure that I'm not drawing the neck too much or too little to the one side. We are just going to focus, I'm going to focus on the face here. So I'm not too concerned about what we are going to do with the rest of her body, but we do she needs a neck and shoulders. I think I'm pretty happy with the face. Not completely realistic, but also not cartoonish. I'm pretty sure that I will be able to show you how I paint my darker skin tones on this face. There is something about the hair that's bothering me. I think it needs to go up a bit more because it looks like she's got a flat head. I don't know. Okay, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. We'll fix that. When we paint. So, okay. So I'm going to leave it at this. And I'm just going to bring her up a bit so that, because I'm all zoomed in, so you can just see the lines better. I am going to scan it in now, and oh, it's slightly bigger than an A4. I am going to scan it in, and I will put it in a PDF for you if you feel more comfortable in tracing it down.